Hey doing YouTube's Will from Will Development. This is my 316th weekly update. First things first, I did finish my yearly update. I released it on Wednesday, just a couple days ago. Filmed it and released it that same day. Didn't put quite as much work into it as years in the past. And the reality is I probably could have, because there's quite a bit of footage from comps and things like that from this past year. And remember, the year on this channel is sometime in late September forward, so that's like the year time frame for this channel. It's not necessarily a calendar year. But I finished that video, did a lot of talking, talked about a lot of different things that happened this following year. I mean, it's hard to condense a year into anything less than like 30 minutes. And came out, I think that video came out around 22 minutes, which is obviously not short, but it's like I said, it's a lot to try to remember and recall from the past year of everything that happened, and things that sort of took place. And I'm just saying the same shit over and over. I'm just rambling for no reason. Go watch the video if you're interested. And look, I look pretty beefy in it, so I like that. Anyway, talking about this week. This week was a good week. I'd give it a very good week. Training for Tampa's, and I went out to a local gym on Sunday and practiced a few of the events. Did the truck pull and found out I'm actually pretty damn good at truck pull. I did actually post that footage on my Instagram. I'll probably put it on a video just because I have a couple things I did. I also practiced the Hercules hold on 2 trucks in a driveway, and that went okay. The footage I have is not that great, but my second go at it I did a lot better. But the truck pull was awesome. My technique is apparently very good and fast, and if I was just a little bit stronger it'd be even faster. But I beat 2 guys that they're going to be competing in the heavyweights, and I beat both of them. One didn't even finish the course. The other guy got like 35 seconds, and my fastest time was like 25. So I'm pretty good at truck pull, and a lot of it's grip, a lot of it's having that good technique of that squatting real deep and just pushing out off and sort of deadlifting it or squatting it sort of on a plane and just keeping up with that momentum and doing it that way. And I'm very happy with how I performed, and I'll be practicing it again tomorrow at my regular gym with one of the guys who's going to be competing there, and it should be a good time. Definitely going to be wearing gloves for our rope, though, because our rope's so small, which does change the dynamic a little bit, but I should be getting better times with somebody there to sort of move the rope out of the way, and we'll see how it goes. It should be a good time. And Monday, squats and deadlifts was a lot more beat up than I think I cared to admit. I did 1 squat with just the bar, and I was like, wow, okay, I'm more torn up than I thought from Sunday's training. Also did some bag tossing too on Sunday. And yeah, it took more out of me than I thought it would, but I still decided to go for it, and I've sort of made an executive decision where I'm like, you know what? I'm not being tested on my squat. I'm not being tested on my deadlift. Let me do something to improve this lift overall. And so I decided I'm switching to high bar for a while and squatting real deep. And honestly, it's treating me a lot better. I feel a lot more stable with it, and I wouldn't necessarily say I'm as strong. I'm definitely not as strong. I was able to hit a 275 single the other day with high bar, and as you may know, I mean, that's basically 100 pounds off my low bar squat. But I found my descent speed is a lot easier doing a high bar style, and the main thing I'm using it for is to really work on keeping that tension in the upper back more, which on a high bar you can't really get away with it as much as you can on a low bar. With a low bar, if you sort of lose a little tension and you can kind of fight through it a little bit, it'll work itself out. But on a high bar, if that bar starts to go forward because you've done this, you're just going to fall forward. So you have no choice but to keep it nice and tight and a little more vertical. And it's also going to train my back, overall, my posterior chain, in the ways that a squat does, in different ways. So I'm going to just do a bit of a training cycle with just high bar. Did 3 sets of 5 at just 225. Sometimes I just can't escape my starting strength roots. And I did that, and then went over to deadlift, and I knew I was beat up, so I said, let me just go a little easy on it, and I ended up just pulling doubles, excuse me, doubles, and I worked up to like 365, and that was it. I just called it there. Might have even been 385, I don't remember. It was just one of those sessions where I'm like, just going to pull doubles, make them easy, and those felt hard. So I was like, all right, we're good, that's fine. I know where I'm at today. It's not a big deal. Tuesday, I did 3 sets of 3 at 190 on the log inclined bench, which makes me feel really good. Cleaned it 3 times, pressed it 3 reps each set, and still haven't touched comp weight. That'll be next week. I'll be touching comp weight, and next week's basically my last sort of heavy week until the comp. So I'm going to be doing 200 next week, which will be fun. Probably for just a bunch of singles. That way I can work that clean a lot more and still get sort of used to that weight. Going into it, I signed up so late and started training for it so late. I did have that slight inkling in my mind where I was just like, man, I might actually might sort of zero this event. But now I know I won't zero it. I just might not do as well as I'd hoped. Or anybody would hope, right? So that's the goal, though, is to not zero that event, and I don't think I will. So I'm excited for that. And then a bunch of accessory work Tuesday, and then Wednesday off. Thursday, being yesterday, squats and deads again. And I'm just baby stepping it up, so I did 245 for 5 sets of 4. So the overall volume is higher, and the weight's heavier. The total reps done was more, but it's still not really ramping it up. Next week I'll do something in the 5x5 range, probably with like 255, just going up another 10 pounds, maybe even 20. We'll see how it goes. Because when I did 275, that's when I did it on Thursday. It actually didn't feel as bad as I thought it was going to. I thought it was going to feel a lot worse. And right when I did the 1, I was like, honestly, I feel like I could do 3 of these, no problem. So that's where we're at with that. And then went to deadlifts, and I just worked up to a single 405. I knew I was still a little beat up. And I'll just do some RDLs tomorrow to sort of make up for that lack of sort of deadlift prowess this week. It's not a big deal. Again, I'm not being tested on it. So, and I know the strength is there. It's just one of those things where it's, sometimes you have the low weeks and the high weeks and things like that. And then tonight, I did 10 sets of 3, every minute on the minute with 180, cleaning every set, which sucked. And that was the plan going in, I should say. What ended up actually happening is set 1, 2, 3, and 4 went pretty okay. Set 5, I was only able to get a single. Set 6 got 3. Set 7 got 2. Set 8 got 2. And then set 9 and 10, I got my 3s. So went for 30 reps at a particular weight, and I ended up probably somewhere in the realm of like 25 to 26. Well, I guess it's 25 reps, which is fine. The important thing was to practice cleaning more with a heavier weight, and 180. I mean, I know just a few weeks ago, just cleaning 180 was like, whoa. So to be able to do it 10 times and still be able to get a rep no matter what on every set, I felt fine with that. It's one of those things, like I always say, make your goals kind of higher. And even in training, if you don't quite hit it on one set, that doesn't necessarily mean you're not capable of it. A big part of it was I had a bad clean on one of them, learning how to really brace my body, my particular body, properly for the actual push and things of that nature. So it's all things I'm still sort of working out slightly. Just fine-tuning is the better word for it. I have a more than basic idea of what I'm doing. It's just fine-tuning it for me, and I don't want to fine-tune too particularly, just because the log I'm using is smaller than the one that's going to be there on the comp. So it's one of those, like, things are going to be slightly different no matter what. The important thing is I have that particular motion, both motions, and I can do them both with relative proficiency and go from there. And then did some accessories afterward. I'm going to do some more accessories tomorrow. He's planning on truck pulling and grip, so it should be a good time. I like grip stuff. I'm good at grip stuff. So that's it. Yeah. Set your goals high, and just because one set doesn't go so well doesn't necessarily mean you're done. You've probably got more in you than you think. So keep that in mind. And if you don't, then what's your excuse?